All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday. Hoping your weekend has been going great. We're tracking some weather out there, and of course, this is what's been affecting the UCF game tonight. So fingers crossed, we should be good. But what we're going to be focusing in on is the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect across Marion County. No, it doesn't look like it's actually going into Lake County, so never mind about that. Marion County and Alachua County are the two that we're focusing in on right now. Right around Ocala, because even as we zoom out a little bit, even though the warning is in Marion County, up towards Alachua County, we're still seeing some showers, but the majority of that storm right now is in Marion County, and this is where our severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7:30 p.m. We are seeing a lot of lightning within the area, but the main reason why I did want to come on is that even this is a severe thunderstorm warning, so of course this is a very big storm, as well as we're seeing some very gusty winds with this storm. We were also keeping an eye on the possibility of a little bit of rotation with this storm as well. So we are right now live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Fox Local, so definitely feel free to come in and say hi. Right now I'm looking at our Facebook page, we look good up there. I'm going to switch over to YouTube, making sure that we're good on that front as well before we kind of get started. But we are looking good on YouTube as well, so feel free to come in, say hi, and also heads up, we're going to actually backtrack ever so slightly. If you are in the Winter Park, Maitland area, yeah, there we go. Actually, it does look like it just got expired, so that's good news right there. Flash flood warning was in effect from about 6 to 7 o'clock from Maitland, Winter Park, down to Fairview Shores, Edenville area. If you do have any flood reports, definitely write those in the comments. But again, back up to what we're mainly on here for, and I'm going to backtrack ever so slightly. We're keeping an eye on Ocala down to Bellevue on the I-75 corridor. And this is where we're seeing a good amount of lightning, about 400 lightning strikes within this little bit right here. And also, again, the reason why I wanted to come on was kind of preemptive because we were keeping an eye on a little bit of rotation within the storm as well, and we're still seeing it around Bellevue area. Nothing concerning yet, however, just an observation that I'm keeping an eye on. I can see your comments if anyone is seeing any storm reports in a second. But I am going to switch over here on my phone, not to be rude, but hopping on our National Weather Service chat. So the National Weather Service of Jacksonville actually is kind of in charge of this area, so of Marion and Alachua counties. If you live there and you're looking to get some weather information, the National Weather Service of Jacksonville, that is where you should go. So right now, Jacksonville, reporting that between Ocala and Bellevue, there's been about 2 or 3 inches fallen, which does track. We are seeing very heavy rain from Ocala down to Bellevue right now, and we still have a lot of rain to go. So all of this rain right here, this is slowly moving up to the north. So as we bounce back ever so slightly, this is where the majority of the rain is tracking ever so slightly off to the northeast. So we still got a good amount of this chunk of rain that's going to make its way up it kind of in between. That's a little exaggerated, but Ocala down to Bellevue, that's where we're going to be seeing that as we head through the rest of the overnight tonight. So we have a good amount of that rain to go from Ocala down to Bellevue, where we're seeing this heavy rain and the severe thunderstorm warning right now. They're not saying anything about the rotation, but they did clock it a little bit earlier. I'm still keeping an eye on it myself. And so this is actually looking from the Melbourne radar. So this is actually shooting pretty high up in the atmosphere. So a little bit of a radar lesson. What we kind of want to do, and we're very lucky to have here in Central Florida, let me get rid of my doodles here, is that we have a couple of radars to look at the different areas that we cover. And so here, this is the Melbourne radar, keeping an eye on a little bit of rotation. Again, nothing too concerning, but definitely something to make note is that we are keeping an eye on a little bit of rotation with this storm. And we can see here that right over Bellevue is where we're seeing some rotation. Then again, this is from the Melbourne radar. So backing up, there is no tornado warning issued. Again, just kind of an observation, letting you know. But from the Jacksonville radar, so just to kind of give like a little bit of geography here. Here are the 2 radars that we're looking at. So we have our Jacksonville radar, which is here, our Melbourne radar, which is right around here. So we're kind of shooting in between the 2 to kind of get the best view. And we'll also use our Bithlow radar in a second, which is right here. And so kind of using these 3 in order to get the best view of what's happening right here. So we'll be switching around a little bit to kind of just get the best view of what's happening within this storm, but it's a little bit tricky because, again, all of these radars are shooting up ever so slightly, and usually what we run into in areas that are kind of a dead zone or a little bit of a tricky zone where it kind of overlaps a little bit, it's tough to kind of see what's really happening within the storm. And it's still, even from the Jacksonville radar, it does look like there's a little bit of rotation over Bellevue, but nothing that I'm concerned with at the moment. Just kind of keeping a note up there that it's not a tornado warning. However, this is the reason kind of why I wanted to jump on because we were seeing a little bit of shear, a little bit of rotation, so kind of being a little bit preemptive in case they did notice that there was a little bit more rotation and they wanted to call a tornado warning. But for now, that's the rain was the main reason why we hopped on, and the wind, because there were 60-mile-per-hour gusts. So backing up just a little bit, seeing over Bellevue, this is using our Melbourne radar, but I'm actually going to switch over to our Jacksonville radar. So we are seeing heavy rain, and I wouldn't be surprised if we were even seeing a little bit of hail right by Bellevue. Let's see if we can try to close in. Silver Spring Shores, seeing a good amount of that heavy rain, if not a little bit of hail, and we'll check that in 1 second. Huntington also seeing a hefty amount of rain. Camp Roosevelt up to Ocala still seeing a heavy amount of rain right now. Luckily, though, looking at the reflectivity, I'm not seeing anything that's sticking out that is showing rotation, because usually if there's a little bit of rotation, and usually we see this again with stronger thunderstorms, we would see like a little patch of green, not necessarily quite like this, but like within the red, the deep red. If there was a little patch of green, then I would be more concerned for the possibility of a tornado. But I think we're looking good right now. Looks like just a severe thunderstorm warning. And within this area, we are seeing a lot of lightning. So actually, before we move on, I'm going to find our Ocala camera. I do not think I have this in my system already. But if anyone has any storm reports that they would like to share, definitely write those in the comments. Right now, I'm looking at YouTube. I'll switch back over to our Facebook in a little bit. I'm bummed I can't move this camera, and I'm not exactly sure where it's facing, but it looks like we have a lot of dark clouds. So I'm guessing it's facing away from. So here's our Ocala camera. Looks like just a good amount of rain, and we can see that dark clouds on the camera. So looking at our radar, here's Ocala. It's probably right within the thick of it right now, because it's not seeing that heavy rain, but it's definitely either facing off to the east or off to the west, because if it was facing south, it would still be well within the rain, and we would be seeing all those dark clouds. But we're seeing a good amount of that sunlight off in the distance. So I'm not exactly sure if it's facing towards the east or towards the west. My darndest guess if it would be facing towards the west, down towards like Martell area, but I'm pretty sure it's like right within Ocala, and it's facing down the West Silver Springs area. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on at the moment. But lots of lightning. We'll switch back to that camera in a second. But within Ocala, lots of lightning, and it does look like they may have expired. Okay, they have expired the severe thunderstorm warning, so we'll wrap up in a second. We'll take a look at the rest of the area. I do want to pop back to our Facebook real quick, see if we have any storm reports. Colleen, Southeast Ocala, lightning is crazy. Colleen, if you get any photos, definitely let us know and put it in here, or send it to my email, laurel.blanchard@fox.com. Deb in Deltona saying that it's rumbling and really dark. Yes, we'll get there in a second. Aiden, Ocala, and Silver Springs area, just a bit of thunder, lightning right now, nothing too major. So Aiden, you must be here near Silver Springs. Oh, wait, hold on. My geography is really off on this one. Okay, so yeah, you're right around here. So you're probably in the Silver Springs area. You're probably just on the back end of that rain. So here's the tricky thing about what we're seeing right here. So we actually have a low pressure system. So it's a little bit tough to kind of forecast where this is going because, and again, this is probably a little bit in the weeds when we're getting to our radar here, but we have a low pressure system right here, and low pressure spins counterclockwise, so we're kind of seeing everything move this way. So within this low pressure system right here, we're kind of seeing all these storms follow up to the north, but seeing here, because this is also where we're seeing that like collision with the storms that were down by Orlando earlier on today. These storms are moving north. These storms over here have kind of been raining themselves out. So, but we're ever so slightly seeing these storms moving off to the north, but for the majority of it raining themselves out. So it's a little bit tricky to kind of forecast where we're seeing these storms, because closer to the low pressure system that's kind of sitting just off Daytona Beach, we're seeing these storms move north, because all of these storms right here that are now impacting DeLand and moving towards Pearson, these were down in Orlando, probably within, where were we on at 5? So about 2 hours ago, these storms were down in Orlando, and now we're seeing them more impact areas across Daytona Beach and making their way up towards Pearson. But over the I-75 storms near Ocala and the Villages, these have kind of just been raining themselves out. So it's a little bit tricky because we're seeing storms either moving or not moving. So let me clear out my doodles here. Let's check our Facebook comments again. Hey Seth, hope you're having a great Saturday night. Cindy, so we have a very big area, so we try to make sure everyone is covered, but we'll definitely take a look of where you're living if you would like a little forecast for the rest of your evening. Deb, Deltona, thank you so much. It's rumbling and it's dark. We'll take a look at that in a second. Colleen talked about Southeast Ocala already. Aiden, we talked about Silver Springs. Scott and Edgewater, we'll take a look at that in a second. And Sanford, already seeing that rain as well. So yes, Sanford, just even within the past half hour, was seeing a good amount of rain. Colleen, oh, excuse me. Deb in Deltona, let's check there. Let me pop up my places so you can actually see where your hometown is. There we go, DeLand, Deltona area. Yeah, we're seeing a good amount of rain. Couple rumbles out there out and about as well. I don't know why my Deltona isn't coming up at the moment, but you get what I'm saying over here. But yeah, we are seeing a good couple rumbles of thunder and a good amount of rain moving out of Deltona and DeLand area as well. Everything does seem to be out just off to the north. But yeah, you probably will be hearing a couple rumbles of rain as well. And Karen, thank you for your storm report as well. So getting back to Manish in Sanford. Sanford looks like it's getting a little bit of a break, but looks like just a lot of light rain. And I'm checking our Lake Mary camera. And it looks like it's just dark clouds and seeing that light rain moving out. So we'll take a look at that in a second. But nothing too crazy. It's more just those dark clouds. But Olga writing in on Facebook in Bellevue. So I do want to focus in on that because that was where we were seeing a severe thunderstorm warning. Still seeing a good amount of lightning. And something that I'm also going to check here in Bellevue. So Olga, thank you for writing in on Facebook. I'm also going to check our severe products for the possibility of hail. It doesn't look like we are seeing it, but we are just seeing a lot of lightning. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning was let go at 7, but I do want to just take a couple of extra minutes and just kind of give everyone the forecast of if they are watching and if they have any plans for the rest of the overnight tonight, giving you guys a forecast. Switching back to our YouTube comments as well. Nicole will check Kissimmee in a second. And Berlinda will also check Kissimmee in a few minutes. And Neo, it is a good electrical storm. So we are seeing a good amount of lightning. And even though this is not in our area, checking over Citrus County and Pasco County as well, a good amount of lightning over by Inverness. Taking a look there. And we are seeing, yeah, a good amount of lightning and most likely a good amount of hail as well. Doesn't look like we can pick it up on our radars, but if we switch over to Tampa, I would be sure. Yeah, they are seeing a lot of rain and a lot of lightning there, and just for the heck of it, because I'm curious. Again, not in our viewing area, but it does look like there's some broad rotation. So if you're near Citrus County, I would be a little bit cautious there. Again, not in our viewing area, just something I'm keeping an eye on. But it is close to Sumter County, so which is in our viewing area. So backing up, and again, not seeing any of that rotation again. I know that was something that I popped on here originally for when we were keeping an eye on that severe thunderstorm warning. But even though that severe thunderstorm warning has been lifted, we are still keeping an eye on this special weather statement that's in effect for the next minute or so. So I just wanted to pop on here and just continue through the rest of that. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the radar. Let's do backup. Back up and take a look at where some people are writing in. So let's actually just go top to bottom. Gainesville area looks like we're starting to see some of that rain move in. I'm going to pop on our 15-minute lapse and talks. There we go. All right, so you can see kind of like where these storms are going. So Gainesville looks like the majority of this rain kind of raining itself out, moving south, kind of colliding actually with the storms that we're seeing over Ocala. So Alachua County, kind of just some light rain over there. Reddick starting to see some of that heavier rain sink in, and Ocala, of course, we're keeping an eye on that. So while we're actually focused in on Ocala, no longer in a special weather statement. However, something that I'm going to be watching, especially if you are in Salt Springs area of Marion County, you're probably feeling that wind right now when you're going to be seeing this rain, pretty much what we're seeing right here. Is going to be moving up towards the Salt Springs area. So northern Marion County, heads up, you're going to have some rain coming at you probably within the next half hour or so. And let's actually track that. Clear. This is moving north at about 15 miles per hour. So areas across Eureka, Yellow Bluff, this is northern Volusia County. You're going to be seeing that rain kind of making its way towards you within the next couple of minutes or so. So just heads up for that. Yellow Bluff probably at around 8 o'clock. As well as Eureka probably at around 8 o'clock as well. You'll be seeing that. So just a little bit of a heads up for those communities just in northern Marion County. And again, a good amount of lightning all across Marion County as well. So Bellevue, you should start to see that rain lighten up a little bit, but you're going to see some heavier pockets. Looks like the Villages, everything is just off to your north. Umatilla, seeing most of that to the north as well. And let's actually take a look more towards central Volusia County. DeLand, it looks like the worst of it is gone. Same with Lake Helen. But what we're going to be seeing, especially when we see this kind of this arc happening. So from Pearson basically till New Smyrna Beach. So what we're seeing here, get my pen, Pearson. So when we see kind of like storms arcing out, it means there's a lot of wind involved. Even though there's probably not a lot of lightning, there's going to be some gusty winds. So Daytona Beach, Port Orange, Ponce Inlet, this is going to be kind of making its way up towards Ormond Beach area. So with that, there's going to be some gusty winds first, and then you'll be feeling the rain. So a little bit of a heads up, and let's actually take this base velocity. Yeah, we're looking at about 20 mile per hour winds. Stop this real quick. 20 mile per hour winds kind of making its way outwards towards Daytona, Ormond Beach, Port Orange area. So just heads up, it's probably going to get a little bit breezy in the next couple minutes. All right, so I don't know if you just overheard my mic, but let's actually make our way down towards Seminole County because here in our Lake Mary studios, we just heard a good rumble of thunder, and that might be from that lightning that we just saw near Mount Dora. But Lake Mary right now seeing a little bit of rain. Doesn't look like we're seeing it on our cameras, so I'll just not show that right now, but I do want to check back on our Ocala camera in a second. Back down towards Winter Park, northern Orlando area again, kind of just seeing not too much, not heavy rain, but just dark clouds near Orlando. Luckily though, so if you are hoping to get the UCF game, if you're at the UCF game, let's actually zoom in on University Park. Okay, so right here, this is the bounce house right here. You can't see it because of the radar, but right where my little pen is right here. Oops. So there is the bounce house. So backing out just a little bit, the rule is with college football, they cannot play if they are, if there is lightning within 8 miles. So backing out there's where the stadium is. Let's do here. 8 miles. And so kind of within, there's probably going to be a horrible circle, so bear with me. Yep. There we go. So within an 8-mile radius, roughly, you get the gist, of the stadium, there can't be any lightning. So luckily, you guys are just seeing rain if you're at the UCF game. We're seeing a little bit of lightning kind of on the other side of I-4 near Lockhart, but that's not close enough. So UCF game should have actually already kicked off, and they shouldn't be seeing any delays anytime soon. If anything, slowly actually going to be seeing that rain move out. So those conditions are going to be improving as you head through the game. So heads up there. All right, looks like down towards Kissimmee. See a couple people writing in Kissimmee. Nicole on Facebook. Berlinda on, or excuse me, Nicole on YouTube. Berlinda on YouTube. A couple people in our Facebook page also writing in from Kissimmee as well. So let's actually take a look there. So seeing areas across Kissimmee, St. Cloud, you guys should be good. Slowly starting to see that sun probably a little bit more. Near Disney property, things are looking good. Let's actually check to see where this little pocket of rain. All right, so this little pocket of rain near Zephyr Hills, Dade City, that's going to continue to kind of just rain itself out. So it shouldn't be any problem for folks near the theme parks, Disney, St. Cloud, Kissimmee, Celebration, Davenport. Noticing a good amount of rain right by the airport, but this pocket of rain right here, this is going to continue to move to the northeast and kind of rain itself out. So this is going to be moving towards UCF. So we're going to still be seeing a good amount of rain, but luckily no lightning. So that game should not see any more delays for the rest of the night. Fingers crossed. Again, usually when we still see that lightning potential, lightning can pick up kind of anywhere. So with that, we're just going to continue to monitor that. There is still rain. There could still be lightning, but it's going to be pretty much a rogue bolt. It kind of just depends if it's in that 8-mile radius of the UCF campus is where we could be seeing that possibility of a delay. All right. Seeing a couple of people actually writing in on our Facebook page. Looks like a Facebook group joining in, saying it was crazy in Sanford. Leo writing in Ocala. Yes, we'll take a look at that in a second. Oh, you're driving to Texas, Leo. That's crazy. A long drive. Looks like that lightning is starting to lighten up. So actually a little bit of a meteorology lesson. So just actually take a look at this. That lightning count just in the past 15 minutes went from over 700 to about 400. Usually rule of thumb is that when we see those boundaries collide, we see a lot of energy get built up in the atmosphere and those clouds get very, very tall. That's when that lightning starts to really pick up. And once that starts to collapse a little bit more, that's when we see the lightning count go down. So when a storm is strengthening, usually rule of thumb, stronger the storm, bigger the lightning, or more the lightning count. As that lightning count starts to come down, usually means that storm is weakening. So that's good news right there. I do want to just give a quick check on our shear rate and our storm relative velocity. Okay, good. Looks like that rotation that we were keeping an eye on is starting to buff out a little bit. And yeah, looks like what we're seeing here near Ocala, and we'll check out that camera in our second. Looks like most of these storms over here just to the west of Sumter County. So this is the Sumter County line right here. All looks like the worst of this is going to continue to make its way towards Crystal River. Ocala, you're going to be stuck in rain for a little bit longer. But it looks like Bellevue, you're going to start to see that rain lighten up. So let's actually switch back to our Ocala camera. Yeah, starting to see that sun rise. Or sun peek out a little bit more. But yeah, it does look like we're probably just north of, because we have a lot of those black clouds continuing to move in. So it'll be interesting to watch that camera through the rest of the overnight tonight. All right, we'll do one more skim of the comments, and then we'll probably wrap up here, not seeing anything too much. All right, getting a quick request on Gainesville. And then we'll on our YouTube page. Coming up toward Gainesville, things are looking good. Maybe a little bit of light rain through the rest of the evening. If these storms hold together, which right now the majority of these storms are most likely going to rain themselves out, probably won't make it up to Gainesville, but maybe seeing a little bit of that light rain through the rest of the overnight tonight. And I think I pretty much answered everybody on YouTube. Let's switch back to Facebook, making sure I didn't miss anything. And I'm also going to check our National Weather Service chat, making sure nothing's being said in there. Okay, we're looking good from National Weather Service, doing a one last check. And we'll do one last check of Facebook as well. Okay, checking one last of Facebook. Tina writing in from Paisley. If my geography is right, Lake County. Right around here, I believe. Right? Hold on. It's in Lake County, so it should be right around here, right? Might be just a little bit too small for it to pop up on our system, but land down. Okay, yeah, it should be right around here. So it might just be, I just didn't close in enough that it didn't pop up. Yeah, because it's right by Mount Dora. Okay, so yeah, I was kind of right. So, Tina, you're, for Paisley, northern Lake County area, we're going to continue to see that light rain because really what's coming your way is most likely just going to be a couple pockets of that light rain that's coming up from Sanford. But the worst is to your north. You should be pretty much good. Partly cloudy skies for the rest of your overnight tonight. All right, everybody, we're going to wrap up here. Make sure you tune in at 10 we're going to be actually on after baseball. So whenever baseball wraps up, we'll be pretty much good there. But definitely tune in for that. And I think check one last check of YouTube, one last check of Facebook. We look good. But yeah, most of these storms, if anything, are just going to produce a lot of wind and a lot of rain from Ocala down to Bellevue, just north of the villages. But these should be raining themselves out very soon. And heads up, if you're in northern Marion County, Salt Springs area, you're going to be seeing this rain within the next couple of minutes. But it looks like a good amount of this is just slowly going to start to rain itself out through the next hour or so. All right, everyone, have a wonderful night. Stay safe. Tune in at 10 after baseball tonight. And if you're not doing anything tomorrow morning, I'll be there. Join us at Icon Park. So at Icon Park tomorrow from 9 to 1, we will be there having a block party to celebrate the return of Sunday Night Football here on Fox. So just make sure you come down and enjoy. I'll be there. Rest of the Storm team will be there as well. So make sure you come in and have some fun with us. Have a great night, everybody.